Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pop Art Hunter channel. Today we have an unboxing. What's inside? Well, it's a little bit heavier, so it makes me think it's not just a single cell. It might be something like a book. I'm not exactly sure. I've been ordering a lot lately. So let's go ahead and crack it open and see what's inside. Well, let's get her opened up here. I think this is a job for the handy dandy knife. Let's go ahead and... Well, come on here. Try to slice it. Try not to slice my hand open here. You know, you gotta be careful when you're dealing with the old knives. Okay. There we go. Got a little Bublé wrap. Some Michael Bublé wrap. This is a job for the scissors. Oh, I'm saying all the words wrong today. Because it's adorable. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say this much. I already love this book. Well, first of all, let's go with the old smell test. It's got a little bit of that musty smell to it, so I might have to let this one air out a little bit. But the really cool thing about this, look at the dust jacket. That is super cool. It's got a little animation cell look to it. Yeah, you got the plastic, translucent, probably an acetate or something like that. Maybe just like a cell, who knows? Or maybe another type of cheaper plastic. But kind of cool. Book isn't okay. It's got little scratches and some scuff marks, some sticky stuff there. I can probably rub that off pretty easily. But overall, the book looks like it's in great condition. Dust jacket a little bit more to be desired. But let's go ahead and look a little bit further. We're not going to flip through everything. Oh my goodness. Retail value on this one in the corner here is $75, which is definitely not what I paid for. So I feel like I got a deal, unless this book is, wasn't very popular. But I can only imagine these, especially as resource materials, go up in value. I don't know about this as far as the edition number. I thought, when I looked at it earlier, that this was an earlier edition of this, so let's see if I can... I'm not much of a book guy, and I don't think, first, second editions of these are going to matter that much, but I thought that this was an earlier... Yep, manufactured in Japan, first edition. So I know there is a newer version of this. Sometimes I feel as though, do you want to get the newer version because it's got more, relevant stuff in it, or they've updated mistakes, but then the first editions or something. But this isn't some Little Women or a Hemingway or a Tennyson or something like that. We're probably not worried about first editions too much. So yeah, let's just flip through some of this. So we got Disney era, 1928 to 41, and so they go through a variety of different films from that era. Similar to other books I have, I have that Taschen Disney history book, but as you get further, then you get into other studios, which is good, because a lot of times you see Disney. You see Disney. Disney's one of the more popular ones as far as studios go, and as far as animation. I mean, they're kind of legends. But to see some of the other studios and what else was going on during that time frame. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Popeye when I was a kid. I watched a little bit, but Popeye is one that when you're talking about classic cartoons, it might not be the first one that pops up, but I mean, is a cool cartoon. Oh, what is this guy? Oh, it's one of Eworks, Balloon Land, the Pincushion Man. So some pretty cool figures and characters here. And again, these are outside. Woody Woodpecker and Bosco. You got some of these that are outside of the Disney studio. Got some Looney Tunes stuff in there. Hook, Take Heed, Mr. Tojo. Got some Donald Duck here, a little angel and a piggy bank. The Homefront animation from 1941 to 1945. Then we go to 1946 to 60. So it's broken up really nicely into segments. I like books that have some text descriptors, but I also like them when they're very picture heavy and they can give examples. But I love how this one is broken up into different time periods to just try to get you into the mindset of that particular decade or that region of time. 1943 to 1959, Upa and the Graphic Revolution. Little Mr. Magoo there. We got this. What is this train one? I kind of forget. Looks familiar. The first part, Sparks and the Chips Get the... I don't think that might not be it. I don't remember what this what this train one is. It's not like Thomas the Train. That's too modern, but I don't remember. This is familiar, though, the train with the face on it. What's that movie with the semi? Isn't there like a horror movie? There's like a semi that like attacks people. Is it like a Stephen King book or something like that? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Just don't listen to me. Don't bother with me. Don't even remember I was here. We got Gumby, which isn't, when you think of animation, stop motion animation, claymation is not something I usually include in the list. I wonder if, I think Nightmare Before Christmas is probably the most popular one as far as some of the collectors getting some of the original armature setups. I'm not sure if anything like Gumby probably survived. I mean, I'm sure the methods they were using back then were a little bit more crude, or they just didn't think of preservation in that sense. But I could be wrong. What is this? So, animator David Daniels demonstrates his strata cut technique in the close-up. He slices a clay block with a machete. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, I know this is a book that has different sort of art. So they're slicing this down, and this one is supposed to be Columbus's ship here by my thumb. That's supposed to be a ship right there, and there's water and way. That's kind of a interesting method. I don't know what that has to do with with the animation art, as far as cells and cartoon animation, but that's really neat. So yeah, this is one that, it's got some stuff in here that I've never seen before. For the television years on the small screen, you get the Beatles here, Yellow Submarine. What else we got here? Ralph Bakshi is from Wizards. I've never seen Wizards. I don't know what that is. Now we get to some of the computer animation, 1960 and 1989. This is the Great Mouse Detective down here. Ratigan. Then you get to the index. And again, like the reason I don't flip through every single page of these books is just because I don't want to spoil stuff for people who want to see it more in depth. You want to buy it yourself. I also don't want to, take away from these authors and these individuals who create these books. I don't want to show you every single page of something. But this one, I love the way that it's broken down. I'll show you the index here more indifferently. So it goes from the silent era to the Disney era. You get the studio cartoon animation goes to War, the home front, Wabbit Tracks and the Sands of Time, Disney the Silver Age, UPA and the Graphic Revolution, on the small screen, the television years, and the Captains and Kings Depart. So yeah, I like how they split up by years and decades. I think it's looks like a pretty comprehensive book. I will have to air this out. As I flip through it, I'm getting like this waft of smell. I got this for a really good price, and for being a first edition, for having everything intact, including the cover, even though it has, some scuff marks and stuff like that. I can probably clean some of this up a little bit. It's still really cool. Even without that, it's sort of a solid book on its own that could live without the cover. I just like it complete, and having that translucence out kind of adds to this book. So yeah, really neat book. So far, I can highly recommend it. I haven't looked through it more thoroughly than what I just did. This is the first year seeing it along with me. But as I learn more about it and I read into it, I'll probably give you little tidbits as we go along. So pretty cool. I always love adding resource books to my collection. Anything about animation art and the history of animation art and things with examples of different animation art throughout the years is something I want to add to my collection. One, is a resource material for myself, and two, as just a cool visual thing to look at. These are pieces of art that I may not ever own personally, but I can see them in a book. And, something that gives historical perspective is always just, interesting to me. And so I'm glad to have this in my collection. I don't know how many more animation books that are out there that I don't own. I tend to find them here and there, but they're few and far between as far as ones I don't have already in my collection, or those that are not a printing that I already own, or maybe some of them are just kind of out of date and they're not very interesting looking. I like pictures of my books. I want to see the cells, I want to see the drawings, I want to see the sketches, and so there's a few books that maybe are a little bit more text heavy that art is interesting to me. But if you know of any animation art books that I haven't unboxed on this channel, or you haven't seen in my collection, let me know, because I'd love to purchase them so I can add them to my collection and keep hoarding and collecting and finding them all, so to speak. So hopefully you like this unboxing. Like, subscribe, comment, all those sorts of things, and we will see you next time right here on the Pop Art Hunter channel.